it's the Beat Man, and you're on the beat with me live right now on Facebook. Oh man, what a show I got for you today. I got Mr. Tyler Morrison with me today. Tyler is an active duty Navy vet. Not a vet, but he is active duty. An avionics specialist and a family man and a musician. And we're going to talk about what his life is like and what it takes to balance all these things around and keep all those balls in the air rolling at the same time, okay? And then after that, Tyler's going to grace us with a couple of his original numbers, okay, that he's going to play on his own. I might keep a little beat in the background with a hand drum, but other than that, it's going to be all Tyler, period, okay? So you want to stay on for that, okay? All right, opening comments. I got a little something that came to me from my good friend Jack Grimley. Hi, Jack. How you doing, bro? Sent me this. This is the news segment of the show, if you haven't guessed already. And this is coming from out of Nashville. Okay, this is from Nashville Musicians AFM Local, looks like 257. Yeah, looks like that. Anyway, it's a press release. I'm going to read this thing to you and just make a few comments on it before I move on, okay? Best bars on Broadway. Nashville musicians vote as part of new fair trade initiative. I found this very, very interesting, folks. Listen up. March 13, Nashville. The driving force behind the enormous tourist draw to downtown Nashville is the incredible community of musicians who bring live music to the area's clubs 7 days a week. Although there's a reason for the glut of visitors, they're often the last to benefit from the booming bar economy. There's a wide variance in how the downtown venues treat the musicians who perform timelessly night after night. Does this sound familiar, Pensacola? Musicians out there, does it sound familiar? Well, get ready, here comes some more. The Nashville Musicians Association, AFM Local 257, is the voice of working musicians and has been since its inception over a century ago. As a part of its ongoing mission, Local 257 has brought a variety of initiatives on behalf of the musicians who work the downtown club circuit. These include establishing musicians' loading zones. How about that? And the current 100% free park and play program with Metropolis. Now, I'm not sure who Metropolis is in Nashville, but it sounds like to me they're a parking company, and it sounds like they've contracted with the musicians local here to make sure that musicians have a place to park while they're loading and unloading. Okay, and that's great. As you recall, 2 episodes ago, I talked about my experience at Pensacon. And they were wanting musicians to unload right on Alkany Street, right there where Gregory is, in the middle of traffic, right at the light, you know. And I thought that was extremely dangerous. Sounds like Nashville's on top of this, and this music union is on top of it too, providing some stuff for the local music community. I think it's great. So it says, now it's time to unveil our newest initiative, the Fair Trade Music Nashville Campaign, and has been, and has been since its inception over a century ago. As a part, I got the wrong part here, sorry. Over the past few months, we've conducted a survey of 300 musicians who work the downtown Nashville area. You've been to Nashville, the downtown area, it's crazy. It's a bar every 40 feet. You got enough live music there to last you a lifetime in a couple hours, you know. So anyway, they did a survey, and the survey's questions cover the primary concerns and issues for those musicians, such as base pay, backline availability, tip jar rules, safety concerns, and more. It hits all together too close to home, don't it? Clubs were also rated in terms of their treatment and overall respect for musicians. We will reveal, they say, the top 5 venues as voted by musicians Monday, March 16th. I didn't get a hold of that, so I don't know what the top 5 are. Not the purpose of this right now. I'm just bringing this up because somebody is doing something in Nashville for the musicians there to give them a little bit more of what they deserve, quite honestly. You know, that's what I feel anyway. Anyway, it's supposed to be on the eve of St. Patrick's Day. The top clubs will be awarded with a Fair Trade Music Nashville sticker from AFM Local 257 to let the public know that their venues are mostly musician friendly. I think that's a great idea. What do you think about something like that? Should we spearhead something like that to get with the local venues to make sure that anytime we're coming to play a show someplace at their place of business, that we have a designated place to park, so we know we don't have to fight with traffic and wheel stuff all the way across the parking lot? I mean, I think that's a great idea. Now, the top takeaways from the survey respondents were this. Biggest problems for downtown musicians include low base pay. 70% of those polled said that was the biggie. Parking and loading, 55%. Poor sound quality, and I can only assume that's when you have an on-site sound man, you're not doing it yourself. Booking and cancellations were 33% of that. Tip jar restrictions were 28%, and safety was 23%. I don't understand the tip jar restrictions, especially if the pay isn't up to standards. You know, you'd think that at least let you go nuts with the tip jar. I don't understand why there'd be any restrictions. I know on private gigs, a lot of private gigs don't want you to put a tip jar out because it's not a bar, it's a private show. I understand that.
We got a comment from Jack Grimley.
Hey Jack, thanks for coming. What you got to say?
Especially for Mardi Gras and Blue Angel Weekend.
Mardi Gras and Blue Angel Weekend. Absolutely. Good point, Jack. Thank you so much, sir. I do appreciate your contribution. He's got a good point. When we have events like this, you know, and I'm going to throw Pensacon in there, because I didn't get paid a dime for playing Pensacon. I didn't get paid nothing, okay? I knew that going in, so I knew what to expect. It was what happened afterwards that I was upset with, and you'll have to go back and look at the show that I talked about that to get that full information on that. So, 90% of the bands that were polled in Nashville say that the club's base pay is average to very poor. That surprises me for Nashville. With all the traffic coming through the venues, going through there, people, come on. I mean, my wife and I have been there during winter time when it was so cold you didn't even want to be outside, and the bars were still packed, and there were people playing. I mean, I don't get that. Average to very poor pay in this day and age, when venues are raking it in, packing shoulder to shoulder in some cases. I don't know, man. Fair Trade Music Nashville will reinforce the positive and help raise awareness of the often extreme differences in how musicians are treated by clubs that depend on them. Nashville Music City, Nashville became Music City because musicians and singers have been treated with respect for more than 100 years. Nashville goes back, and we are here to make sure that people remain true, the spokesman said. So what do you think about that? Now, I don't think there's a full union in there, and I don't think that all the music is unionized in Nashville. Obviously not, because of what they're going through. And I think the biggest fear with that, and with most bands and stuff, is that they won't be booked as much anymore if they're a union, because the venues don't like union rules, you know? I don't know. Union rules, you know, some of them can be kind of strict. But I don't think that what they're trying to accomplish in Nashville right now, folks, is unreasonable by any means. Okay, and I would love to see that adopted here in Pensacola. So, all right. Next up, what I want to talk about. And you'll excuse me, but I gotta get a bit of the Irish tea here just for a second. The beat man has a hard time keeping his throat lubricated. All right. So, what we're going to be talking about today, in a lot of part with Tyler, is what's it like to play in a church band? You been in a church band? You played in a church band before? I don't care what you play, doesn't matter. Church bands, praise bands have a particular flavor to them and a particular way they do things, and depending on the church and so forth. But a couple of questions, and a few of them I'm going to ask Tyler. How different is playing in a church band from playing at other venues? Big difference, I think. Because I played in the church band for quite some time out in Houston, Texas, with a pretty good-sized church. We had a pretty good-sized band. We had drums up on 2 risers. I was way up above everybody. There was 2, sometimes 3 keyboard players, minimum of 2 guitarists, sometimes more than that, and we also had a bass player. And on top of that, we had a percussion section with stuff to do Latin rhythms and stuff. We had congas and bongos and all kinds of stuff that make, a whole percussion section work, okay? It's a lot different. It's way more disciplined, obviously, because the church has a show to put on, right? I mean, they've got to put on an excellent show. They've got to be able to present the music in a way that the people that come in to their church are happy, they're uplifted, right? Okay, and they're motivated, right? I mean, that's all part of being in a praise band. You're helping to uplift and motivate the crowd, okay? Have you ever played as a non-reader, as a non-music reader? And if so, how did that work out, and how did you get to gig with the band director? Because with me, back in those days, I could read drum music, but sit down cold with a whole chart and drum music, trying to read the drum music and playing at the same time. No, I wasn't at that level yet. But there wasn't a song that I really couldn't play. I mean, I know so many runs and riffs and grooves and stuff that I can play just about anything. I know what a blues groove is, I know what a rock groove is, I know what a country groove is. So whatever they were doing, I could fit right in, okay? But they, in my church, they were sticklers for having people who were musically trained and could read music and sight read on top of that. Anybody experienced that here in Pensacola? I'd like to know. Oh, you get along with your bandmates? If you played in a church band, did you guys get along? I got along with 70% of the people I played with at church, okay? And mostly because the other 30% have something that I can't tolerate anymore in these days at my age, being a musician of over 55 years, and that's a fathead ego. It's in church too, folks, and it's big time. Some of these players, I don't care what you play, they could be a keyboard, guitar, or whatever, but some of them I came across really were proud of their playing ability and what they can do. So, when you got direction from the director or the band leader, was it given with grace or with grunts? What do I mean by that? Well, was it presented as, okay, in this part of the music, I'm going to need you to back off a little bit and tone down, and play your groove a little bit softer? Or was it like, wow, if you don't get it together, man, we're going to have to find another drummer? I mean, which one? I use drummer because I'm a drummer, you know what I mean? So, but could be a guitarist, could be anybody, There's a lot of talented players out there can't read a note of music on a page. I understand that, but they can play just about any song. Anyway, so, about praise music in general. Does music, especially praise music, does it have a spiritual right or wrong? Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, when the music is played, is there a right and wrong? Are certain notes and chords played in minor keys? Do they denote a negative vibe, a depressed vibe, a low-end vibe? And why don't you see a lot of that hardly at all in churches? It's more the uplifting stuff, right? So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you play a musical note, it can go either way, right? But when some of the major composers put their music together, they knew the effect on the human brain and emotions that keys, high or low, had effect on the human body, and they put them in to change the mood. So, I don't know. Is there good music? I'm not talking about lyrics. I'm just talking about, is there good music and is there bad music when it comes to playing in a praise band, okay? Years ago, I was involved in a church in a small town in Texas called Beaumont, and I was the youth pastor there, and I was responsible in a lot of ways to guide some of these teenagers and stuff when it came to music and what they were listening to and so forth. They asked me a lot of opinions about a lot of music, and I never told them they couldn't listen to anything. I said, how does that make you feel? That was important, but I started to bring in some contemporary Christian artists, at the time that's what it was called instead of praise music, around the local Beaumont area, and the church went nuts over it, and the kids just went crazy over it, and it was rock and roll. I'm talking heavy rock and roll. And up until that time, this church had nothing but a piano, okay? But I brought Whiteheart into Friendship Baptist Church in Beaumont, Texas, one time, and it was a total hit. It was fantastic. I took the youth kids to see Carmen. Anybody knows Carmen at all? He's an Italian guy. He does his own kind of shtick. He's kind of comical. He's kind of funny in some of the stuff he does, but he makes a point. Great guy to work with. It was a fantastic experience. But when it comes down to it, you got to do what's going to make you happy. And then if you like playing that kind of music, and you have an opportunity, especially if there's a decent paycheck involved, because usually there's not with churches. Many of them want you to donate your time, but there are some. Ours was one that insisted. Our pastor insisted on paying the musicians top dollar for their time because they spent years honing their craft and they deserve to be paid what they're worth. Okay. All right, enough of that. Now, folks, let me tell you about this. This is where I talk about upcoming shows. Okay, and listen, I did not expect at all the response that I got when I put out the plea to send me your shows. I'm blown away. I really am. I've got 30 bands represented here that I'm going to talk about their shows this weekend. 30. That's a lot of response. When I was writing on a regular basis for Scene Pensacola, we were lucky if we got 5, 6 in a month telling us what their shows were and stuff. So I appreciate it. Music community, artists, players, soloists, duos, bands. I'm going to do this every week. And if you want me to mention your name on my show and mention your shows, then I don't care if it's 100. I'd be a happy man to be able to put out 100 plugs for 100 bands, okay? Before I start off, I want to plug something very special. You can catch, I just found out about this man, Phil Thomas Cat and the Uncharted Zone. Ooh. Yeah, I'm sure many of you watching right now know Phil and have seen his show on his Facebook page, The Uncharted Zone, for years and years and years now. Well, I just discovered the man. And I just want to plug his show. And he runs the same time as I do, so he's right in the middle of his show, right now while the big man is going through my show, okay? But I want to tell you about it because I want you to go give him support, definitely. And then Friday mornings, folks, 9 o'clock in the morning, don't miss the Captain and the MCO Morning Show. It's a unique show for sure. You got the Captain James Hutto, and he hosts the show, and he's hilarious. He really is. And he has a variety of guests on, and he's working on a guest right now. I'm not going to say nothing, but when it comes time, you'll know, and it's going to be a special show. So, tonight, here we go. Tonight's gallery night, folks. D-Lady and I are probably going to be going there right after the show to go check everything out. We haven't been since the construction started, so we're going to check it out. So while you're down at gallery night, it's the Dancing in the Streets edition. So there's going to be a lot of dancing and a lot of entertainment going on the streets. Go see Bill Rutland, my buddy Bill, at the Blue Morning Gallery. He is a solo artist and a writer and a singer. He does a great job. Go see Bill. Tonight, the Koontz Band plays for Key Sports Bar. Judy Davis is spot. Hi, Judy. 7 to 11 p.m. And then at the Red Haven Live on Saturday from 7:45 to 9:15. I'm trying to get the Koontz Band on the show, and we will hopefully sometime in the near future. Also, About the Sweat is playing at Flounders tonight. I didn't get a time on that. The flyer didn't notice one. But I'm sure it's right around 7 p.m., so don't miss that. Tonight, right now, as we speak, Rocky Denny and the Brotherhood is playing Five Sisters Blues Cafe. They started at 4 o'clock. I think they go till 7 or 8. I'm not sure, but... Also tonight, The Remedy plays Al's Beach Bar in Fort Walton Beach. Vinyl Revival plays Juanas Pagodas in the bar tonight. I think they play tonight and tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right on that, Katie? Also tonight, Christy D and Bad Juju plays Hub Stacy's downtown and Hub's at the Point tomorrow night. So if you've not seen Christy D and Bad Juju, you need to go out and see that show. They will entertain. There's no doubt about it. Also tonight, Ken Shore with Rachel Campbell play the Whiskey Bar in Crestview. Any Crestview watchers out there? If there is, you got to go see Ken. I've not met the woman yet, but I didn't have a chance to speak with her on the phone because I didn't know how to pronounce her name. And I didn't want to butcher it on the show. But it sounds like she's very involved in music, and I'm looking forward to making the trek out her way to go and check out one of her shows very, very soon. So, also tonight, Jesse Taylor Perry plays Moe's Barbecue in Foley, Alabama, 6 to 9. And tomorrow at Blue Gill at about 12 to 4. And Fairhope Arts and Crafts Fair on the 22nd. Josh Drake plays tonight at the Tiki Raw Bar in Orange Beach. The Aces Band plays the Sky Bar in Destin, 7 to 11. And again tomorrow at the Salty Rose Beach Bar, 6 to 10 p.m. Also tonight, the Eves and On Band plays the Ambets 47 Post in Panama City. If you're out Panama City way, you want to go out and check them out. Also tonight, Slide By You. What a clever name. You guys, that's a good name. Slide By You. I like it. Plays the Undertow Bar and Grill. I'm not sure where the Undertow is, but they start at 10. Tonight, dueling pianos you can catch at Seville Quarter. And the Shrimp Shack Shooters play Post 99 in Foley, Alabama. I think they start at 7 tonight, too. Also, Bob Goldman plays Andy D's on Navarre Beach from 5 to 9. And tonight, Beach Dogs. What a band. You got to see Beach Dogs. They're cool, man. The drummer's insane. He's nuts. They play G.I.J. in Fort Walton Beach. And tomorrow at L.J. Schooners in Niceville from 6 to 10. And then Sunday at the Sand Shaker, Pensacola from 4 to 8 p.m. Also tonight, Wicked Skinny plays the Big Beach Brewing Company in Gulf Shores from 6 to 10. Riptide tonight plays Hub Stations at the Point tonight. That's a great band too. You gotta go see Riptide. Also tonight, Brandon Day plays the American Legion in Fort Walton Beach, 6:30 to 9:30. Pearls of Trinity play M&R Sports Lounge in Theodore, Alabama. They start at 9 and go to 1. Also tonight, Mello and the Funkheads play the Burrow out in my neck of the woods, out in East Hill, right off of 12. Can't miss that. Go see Mello and the Funkheads. And also, the Boomshine Band plays the Sandbar in Destin from 4 to 8 tonight. Now, tomorrow, the Shadowcasters, one of my favorite bands, play Doc Holliday Saloon in Foley. I think their show starts early. I think it might be a 6 o'clock show, maybe 7 o'clock. Tomorrow, Never Ending plays Moonshine Saloon, and then on the 28th, they're going to be at the Salty Rose. Tomorrow, the Greg Lyon Band plays Calvert's at 7 p.m. with Chris and Christine Alexander. Also, the Taz Crew Band, sorry about that, I just booted the camera. Anyway, tomorrow, Never Ending plays, right, I got that one. Greg Lyon Band plays tomorrow at Calvert's in the Heights, 7 p.m. with Chris and Christine Alexander. Chris plays keys and Christine plays drums, and she's a great drummer. I really respect her as a drummer. And the Taz Crew Band plays Paradise, 2:30, featuring Chris Alexander on keys. And to wrap it up, tomorrow, the Modern Eldorados play Patty O'Leary's at Irish Pub at 8 p.m. And then Sunday, Seamus is hosting the Full Monty at 2 p.m. And then, of course, Sunday, Glenn Benolio with Glenn and Friends plays Calvert from 4 to 7. And lastly, my good friend Jack Grimley plays a solo show with an open mic to follow every other Monday at Goat Lips Chew and Brew. And again, Jack, thank you so much for that information. It was, I think, a very, very vital piece of the show and something that needed to be talked about. So, now it's time for us to move on to the interview portion. And I realize I'm running late in the show, but I had 30 bands to mention tonight. I'm proud to do so. I really am. It's fantastic. But look, my guest tonight is a man by the name of Tyler Morrison. And he is in the military right now. He's in the Navy, active duty. He has a wonderful family, and he is a musician playing in and around Pensacola and beyond. I've had the honor to play with this man at the Eagles Talon Motorcycle Benefit they had a few months ago. Jesse O'Neill joined us on bass. So if you want to see some of those clips, go to my YouTube channel and look at some of my past videos. You'll see what I'm talking about, okay? But without further ado, we're going to talk about what it's like to play in church, how you balance your life with so many things going on, and then Tyler's going to grace us with a couple of his original tunes that he's going to play for us tonight. So don't go anywhere. May I introduce, please, Mr. Tyler Morrison. How you doing, Tyler?
Appreciate it.
Have a seat, bud.
Going, man.
Oh, man. So you doing all right?
I am. It's been a long day, but
I'm glad you got something to drink.
Oh yeah, water's necessary, especially if I'm going to sing later. So,
absolutely,
100%, man.
So what do I want to start off with? First of all, tell me a little bit. Let's talk about the military stuff.
Okay.
You're active duty. What do you do?
I am an avionics technician. So basically, our job is we deal with everything electronic on aircraft. I specifically am an eye-level technician, so a lot of it's more like I could bore you to death with all the small stuff that we do, but it's very detail-oriented. So we're opening up the things to fix them.
Right.
So it's been fun. I do enjoy it. Right now, I actually instruct it, so I'm teaching it over here at the base at Nancy.
Oh wow, that's fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, avionics basically is all the electronic stuff that goes in an aircraft. Everything from a knob all the way to a scope, you name it, that's avionics. And that's what makes the plane run. My producer's nodding his head. He's going, yeah, because he's ex-Navy too.
I'm an AO. I was an AO, so we would have been working right there hand to hand.
My rate, I'm specifically an AT.
Yeah, AT. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic.
Yep.
So, and you have a family.
I do.
Yeah.
I've got a wife.
How many kids?
I got a wife, my beautiful wife, man. I've been with her for about roughly 11 years now. Been married for almost 8, and I have 2 kids, 5 and 2. Yes, sir.
I heard a hum.
No worries.
2 kids.
No worries.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, I got 2 kids, 5 and 2. My oldest, so she's 5. Her name is Ava. We've had her back when we were living in Virginia, and I was blessed with my second one here. Her name is Emma, and we had her once we moved down here, and I got stationed here. So,
oh man,
yes, sir.
fantastic! I love to hear about family stories these days because the family unit is eroding so fast, and it warms my heart to know that there are families that are together and and enjoying their time together.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Lots of time together, that's for sure.
So, tell me a little bit now. One of the things we're going to be talking about today is playing in a church. Right?
Yeah,
I know you
absolutely.
play in a church, and you have played in churches.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about your experience playing in a church band, and how does it differ from playing out in public at an event or a festival or a bar?
Sure. So I'll say this. I've had the opportunity to play at quite a few different churches and venues, and I'm gonna be honest. As far as the preparedness goes, there's not much of a difference preparing. Because when you look at playing out in town or playing in church, you're trying to connect with whoever's watching or whoever's listening. The biggest difference between playing out in town is that a lot of times it's more performance-based. I'm wanting to put on a show, but not necessarily from a standpoint of, hey, look at me. It's just more, I'm trying to relay a message or convey some type of feeling, right? Where in church, it's not just about conveying the message, but necessarily sharing the message, right? I want to convey it and allow them to participate in it. Now, obviously, you're winning if you can do that in both sets, but I'd say that's probably the biggest difference is in church, it's a matter of I don't want it to be all about me. And it's never really is all about me. It's just a matter of I'm doing my job well if I can point upwards and not point at myself. So
I can appreciate that 100%. When you're playing out in the public venues and so forth, you're there for one purpose. You're the entertainment.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you are supposed to entertain those that are coming to spend money at the venue.
100%, yeah.
Where at a church, it's an invitation.
Yeah, it could definitely be different. The mission's the same, though. I feel like it doesn't really change all that much. The message, and a lot of the music I do is still the same. Mm-hmm. Whether people are coming for entertainment or they're not, it still is the same, but the preparation does change a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
For sure.
What have you found as far as working with other musicians in the church? I mean, do you...
Oh, man.
Yeah. Okay. It sounds like you got something to say about that.
So I'll say this, right? Pride is not. Pride can kill, man. And
Boy.
I will say that I've dealt with it on both ends. And to be honest, I'd be sitting here lying on a camera if I told you that I haven't dealt with that myself. You know? So I think any musician that's ever worked at their craft or done what they've done for so long, they're gonna take it to heart when they get criticism sometimes, or they're going to take it to heart when they hear something they don't want to hear.
Exactly.
But I'll say this, overall, my experience has actually been pretty positive working with church musicians, it really is a matter of, it's not, are you dealing with good people or bad people, or, because it can get real like dicey when you start talking about that. I think it's more of a matter of, especially, and I think this goes for any band, not just church bands, is the soil good? Because the soil's not good, plant's not going to grow well. You know what I mean?
Interesting metaphor.
And it's a serious thing. And now, how do you take care of that, right? So especially in a church setting, it's a matter of relationships, being intentional. Like, I shouldn't just know you as the drummer that I show up and play with on Sunday. I should know more about you as a person.
I like that.
What your interests are, what drives you, what's your fears, what's your frustration, what's your stresses, right? When the team knows each other well, this is one of the things I'm currently working on with the church I'm at. I'm actually the worship leader at Gulf Coast Christian here in Pensacola.
Worship leader?
Yes, sir.
There's a responsibility.
Oh, yeah. But, hey, I mean, it doesn't really change much because we all have responsibility in some way or role. But I think the main focus is the soil good? Because whatever grows from that, whether it's a big plant, small plant, right? And you could take that metaphorically into, big performance, small performance, lots of people on stage, lots of instrumentalists, or maybe it's just a guitar and a drum. Whatever that plant is, if the soil's good, man, it's going to be a beautiful plant. That's just kind of the way I look at it.
As far as the size of the band, what's the largest church band that you played in, and how many players were there?
So largest band I played in right now was about a 7-piece band. So a full-size band. About 7 people or so. That's with a full sound crew, full everything. And man, the dynamic is different. Now, obviously, come larger bands comes larger responsibilities, more preparation, etc. But it doesn't really matter if it's been a 3-piece or 7-piece. I mean, I always typically have fun. Just the preparation does change a little bit. Depending on size.
That's interesting. Let me ask you another question. How long have you been playing now?
Playing guitar?
Yeah.
I've been playing guitar for about 12 years now.
12 years?
Yeah, yes, sir. I started right when I was coming into my senior years of high school. I've been out of high school now for about 10 years or so. 28. So, it's about my senior year of high school is when I really started dabbling in it. I didn't really start taking it serious until probably right after I graduated. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, as part of your upbringing as a musician, did you have any formal training, any college training, or any kind of formal music training?
In fact, one of the first songs I learned how to play was Sweet Home Alabama, just because I was trying to impress my wife. So it had nothing to do with any type of formal training. I actually learned to play by ear. So most of the stuff I learned to play was all by ear. I didn't really have much formal sheet music training or anything like that.
And he is the music, he is the band leader. He is the one that has to hold the whole thing together and then stand on the carpet the next morning in front of the pastor if it didn't go well.
Oh, well.
I know about that. That's happened to me, so I can relate from experience.
For sure.
But, oh, man, that's fantastic. So during the course of playing a particular song, how much rehearsal goes into making sure that when Sunday morning comes, whether it's one performance or two, everything is spot on, ready to go, and where it needs to be?
Yeah, so to start off, right, it kind of, believe it or not, it starts well before that week, right? So a lot of the times we're planning on, especially because you want to respect, most of your church band is volunteers, especially sound people who are playing on stage. They're all volunteers, and they just love music, right? They enjoy being able to make a joyful noise, right? I know it sounds a little superficial, but that's honestly what it comes down to. People, I mean, music rallies around people, and you don't need to be in church to figure that out. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So in church, even more so, there's a cause. So we typically start about 3 to 4 weeks out, trying to get schedules in place, trying to get song set lists in place, etc. So that way, the people who are serving those weeks can log into our systems. They can see, what songs are we doing, exactly what are the messages, who's serving in what areas, and it gives a good confidence installation before they get to that week. So when practice comes up that Wednesday or Thursday night, they've already kind of known what songs are coming, But obviously, going in out of that week, so to start with, the song set list, I typically try to spend some time in prayer as far as what songs we're going to be playing and why, depending on the sermon message, etc. And then once we get to that week, Thursday nights when we go to practice, I mean, you're hoping they're going to be smooth, right? Are they always? No, but that's okay, right? And I think it's just a matter of it's not a matter of if you're going to hit issues. It's when you hit them. How are you going to be able to work through that?
There you go.
So
that's vitally important.
Man, it's so crucial in communication, man. You've got to know how to be a good communicator, because if you're someone who just shuts down when you get stressed, or if you're someone who just doesn't know how to express your frustration, healthily, like it can definitely cause problems. And that's any band. You don't need to be in a church, man. Anybody who's ever figured that out with a band has probably seen this one way or another. So I feel like I do have responsibility in the church.
Who's more sensitive when it comes to that? Church band?
Oh, drummers, 1,000%.
Oh, give me a break.
1,000%. Man, oh yeah. Especially when you want to talk about rhythm, 100% it's the drummers. Yeah, 100%.
Well, that's fantastic. Now, you're also a songwriter.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how many songs have you written that are your originals?
So I've got about 7 to 8 songs I've written. I say 7 to 8 because the 8th one's still kind of a work in progress, still rough right now. But the plan is to actually drop my own album next year. So it's just a matter of funds, trying to raise money currently, and just as God's timing, man. As that comes is when it comes. So
yeah.
Yep.
An album coming, that's fantastic.
I love it, yeah. We're working towards it. I got some people I really trust that I'm excited to work on the project with, so more to follow with that later.
How many of your originals did we do at the Eagles Talent event?
I don't think we did any originals for that one.
They were all covers?
They were all covers, but we did do 2. There were 2 Christian covers that we did that people were surprised they were actually Christian songs, but they had great messages behind them.
And I got pieces of both of them recorded, but the one that impressed me the most when I look back on it afterwards was a song called Sevens. And I'm going to tell you, this guy here and me and Jesse, we worked hard on that because, boy, does that song got a lot of changes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. But I was getting chilled. Yeah. I tell you what, man, I was getting goosebumps watching the video of some of that stuff. It was like, because we were all spot on, and everybody was into that.
Well, I can't take too much credit. I didn't write it, but I do love the song as well. So,
No, somebody put up some powerful music to some powerful lyrics.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
So tell me how, on a daily basis, you manage to juggle the military, your family, your music life. Because I know you've done some traveling to be able to play. You
have
had to go quite a ways away for next to nothing or nothing, just to participate in the event.
Yeah, I don't manage it. No, I do the best I can. I think really, man, I wish I could give you some real superficial answer of like, oh yeah, I wake up at 6 in the morning and I do this. No, man, I got 2 kids in the house. I got my wife.
That says enough, right there.
I'm just as human as the next person. But I'll say this: what I have learned is that my household matters the most. You know what I mean? And
that's important.
It is my first. I mean, especially when you talk about ministry, because the music ministry can be very difficult and to navigate. And my first ministry though is my house. You know what I mean?
That's exactly right.
Inside of my house, my really first ministry in my house is my wife. And like being able to make her a priority day to day. And I'm not perfect at it, but really being able to make her a priority and making my kids a priority. Everything else just kind of falls subject to. So they matter. And then where I can fit the other stuff in at, obviously work's necessary because I got to pay the bills, but
the military is not too lenient when it comes to stuff like that.
They're very demanding.
When they say you better be someplace at a certain time, you better be there.
Oh yeah, I've got my fair share of getting in trouble for not doing that. So but as far as fitting everything in, man, it's just a matter of keeping them the main thing. God and my family, that's got to be the main thing. Everything else just kind of falls subject to. So that's how I balance it, best I can,
I can respect that. And folks, in this day and age, it takes an awful lot to maintain that.
It does.
It really does. It's hard, especially on a man who is, in the Navy and he's active duty and has responsibilities. I mean, if we have an emergency or something comes up, he's going to go on 12-hour shifts. And then the base is going to be locked down, and he may not be seeing his family real often until everything clears up.
It just depends on circumstance, but yeah.
I know.
For sure.
Well, I was in the Air Force, and my last tour was in Osan, Korea, and I remember what happened when the president of South Korea was assassinated by one of his own cabinet members. I was only 3 days in, and I'm putting on a flak vest and a helmet and donning a gas mask and a canteen. Oh, that's great. That's just what I need. I just spilled everything, folks. So
it's all good.
I got 2 drinks over here now. One of them is really taking its time filling my carpet, which I'm going to have clean. But anyway, so I understand the military and what takes place, especially when you're working in the demands that they put on you that sometimes interfere with family life and especially music life. Now, have you had to cancel the show or anything because of something that came up?
Oh yeah. Now I try not to make it a prominent thing that happens often, but I have had to do it because, like I said, I mean, I think, man, there's a lot of power in learning to say no to things, you know, and it's hard because you want to say yes to everything.
Sure.
But there's times where I've had to say no, and I actually had a really a good mentor of mine. I actually just spoke to him before the show, actually. His name is Nigel Anderson. He's a Christian hip-hop artist. You also go check him out. He goes by the name of Legend, Legin. Very big mentor of mine. Spoken a lot of life into me. But one of the conversations I actually had, like with him, to shout him out, put him on the spot, is we talked about this exactly, and he had said, look, man, he's like, one of the next shows you have come up, like, you know, even if you have the time or even if they have the right amount of money, just say no. And I'm like, and I was like, that sounds crazy. Yeah, exactly. Right? I was like, it sounds crazy. But he's like, if you have the power to say no when everything's right, you're going to have the power to say no when everything's wrong. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, that was, I was like, dude, it hits, man. It hits,
words
you know? And I was like, it is. It was some words of wisdom.
I hope he watches the show because you get good advice.
Yeah. For
Wow.
sure. But yeah, he's spoken a lot of life into me, and I really appreciate him. But seriously, that did make a world of difference because I have used that like a philosophy now when I'm taking these shows. It's like, man, is my family good? How's my wife feel about this? Not as if she's going to be mad or happy. It's like, how much attention have I put with my kids this week?
Right.
How much attention have I put with my wife this week? And there's been times where I've canceled just because I need to, you know, spend some time with them, and it's important, you know.
Exactly.
That's why it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, just keeping the main thing, and let everything kind of fall in subject too. So.
Well, and then we, before the show, we sat down and, you know, was going over show notes and so forth. I was asking you what you had coming up. You want to tell everybody what you're working on right now? Because you got a couple things you're working on.
For sure. So larger things I have coming up right now. I've done a few small solo shows and whatnot, but I'll be playing at the Country Gym in May. So that's coming up. I believe that's on May 12th, I believe.
Which one?
That's going to be at the Country Gym in Gulf Breeze. So
Okay.
I'll be playing there in May. I was going to be playing at the Pickle Fest that is coming up, but unfortunately I'm going to be having to back out of that because I will actually be up in Colorado instead.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be having some stuff going on up there. More to follow with that. Update you guys later. But and then this summer I'll be playing, I believe, with you at the AmVet. That's going to be
July 4th.
For July 4th. Yeah.
The big show. Jesse's going to join us again. And again, we're going to put the
Man.
Tyler Morrison Trio back on the ride.
If you have never seen Jesse O'Neill play live, oh my lord, man, I was impressed, and I'm like watching him as a fan playing on stage with him. It was pretty cool.
He's a concert entertainer.
Oh yeah, man. And then the biggest thing I'm super excited for, and I mean, God's just been so faithful, is me and my team that I work with, as far as writing music and playing out in town live goes, we should be opening up for We Are Vessel come here in October. That's going to be up in Oklahoma, October 22nd and 23rd. If you don't know who they are, they're like a Christian rock band. They toured with Winter Jam. They're actually on tour right now. This is what they do, you know. And I got asked to open it for them for an event called Jesus Streets, and that's going to be at the Chickasaw Nation Retreat Center up in Oklahoma. So if
you're up that way, you want to go catch it.
If you live in Oklahoma and you're watching this show right now, I will be there that weekend. So I'm super excited for that.
Well, fantastic, man. I tell you what. Now, is there anything else you want to cover before we get into the next segment?
I mean, no, not
anything you want to say, and say to anybody else out there that is working in a church band, church group, man of faith, or whatever. Any advice for anybody?
I mean, I think the biggest thing, right, especially playing in churches or being able to play with not just church bands, but also playing out in town, is that this is kind of a misconception that the two can't coincide, right? Like, I play out in town and I play in church, but the thing is, you know, whenever we sing certain songs in church, right? Like, I love being able to sing with my congregation. It's awesome, and I love it. That's what I consider corporate worship. But music is so much bigger than that. And I'm not saying those things aren't important, because they absolutely are. But I also just as much enjoy being able to take what we're able to share inside the church outside the church walls. That's what we're called to do, you know. And like, that's a lot of why I play out in town and what I do, because I want to be able to connect with people through honest, real stories. I don't want to give them some you know, like superficial Christian story.
Right.
Because no one wants that, you know, because it just makes them feel less than. It makes them feel like that they don't belong. It makes them feel like it's not, you know. And I don't try to necessarily just try to like cater to what everybody wants. But what I do I understand is that everyone has a story.
Exactly.
And when you can connect with people through something as simple as music, with real music that you've written, which I hope to share with you guys soon.
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful. And I mean, I can't tell you how many conversations I've had, more so out in town than I even have had in church, because people have came up like, oh my gosh, I love that song. Tell me a little bit more like why you wrote it, or these lyrics, or et cetera, or I kind of related with this, and it's like, man, that's cool to be able to do that, and then create those relationships, and then come back and and actually follow up with them too. So and there's such an importance behind a pen,
right.
And I think you talked about this earlier in the show. You were talking about how the things that get written on by these Christian artists, on whether it's in minors or whether it's in majors, etc. It's like there's so much responsibility that comes with writing these things, and I think that that's something that I know I take seriously. I think it definitely can coincide, but I take it very seriously, and I hope that most Christian musicians do as well, because we have a responsibility with the pen that we pick up to write. So.
Yes, you have a testimony to protect, because I mean, like they used to say, your walk talks and your talk talks, but your walk talks louder than your talk talk.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's the way you conduct yourself, and being out in the public like that and representing God and spirituality, it's just fantastic. I think it's great. All right, folks, we're getting a little bit late in the show, so we're going to move on. And at this point right now, I'm going to have Tyler, you can go ahead and take this chair here and get it adjusted height-wise for you. Oops. That's all right. I'm going to turn the PA back on because it was humming on me. I don't know why. All right. Give me a mic check, please, sir.
Yes, sir. Mic check, mic check, mic check.
That's pretty much what we left it.
Yes, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Tyler is going to share a couple of his original tunes. While he started on this one, I'm going to run out and get a hand drum and maybe join him on one of the songs. I don't know, we'll see. But please enjoy Tyler Morrison. This is his original music. He's going to play for you right now.
Oh yeah. So this first one, I wrote for my daughter. There's a song called "The Blessing," written by Carrie Jove and written by Cody Carnes. My daughter was actually born to this song. She was my first daughter. She was born back in 2020. And COVID babies, man, they are they are a special breed. But it was super cool, and it inspired me because my second daughter that was about to be born in 2024. I had thought, man, maybe I should write a birth song for her, something to just kind of keep that thing going. And what I realized is that as I was starting to write this song, I was writing about my first daughter the entire time, and I couldn't write about, I don't know what it is, it's just the thoughts weren't coming to me. So I just kind of let what was coming out and what God was giving me flow out on a piece of paper, and this is what I came up with. It's called Daughter of Mine, and I hope you guys like it. Yeah, your mom, she's a hardie, but she's got heaven in her eyes. Anytime she saw you in there, couldn't wait to see your smile. And I know there come a day that I'm gonna have to realize, daughter of mine, that you belong to Christ. Yeah, your dad ain't perfect, no, he always tries his best. Love and Lord all his heart and let God figure out the rest. And I know there come a day, and I'm gonna have to realize, daughter of mine, that you belong to Christ. That you belong to the healer, that you belong to the Savior, that you belong to the one make it alright. Just know the Savior's gonna come to steal the night. Just keep Jesus always in your sight, daughter of night.
Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, was that fantastic or what? My God. And the man played with such passion too. Wow,
Yeah,
that's
man.
fantastic.
There was a lot of tears that went into that, I'm not gonna lie. But
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's really quite an inspiring song. For sure.
Thank you. This next one is called Eternity. I wrote this one for my wife. I wrote this one a few years ago. One of the first songs I actually wrote. So it's a little older, but it's a little bit more upbeat. So hopefully, yeah, you like it. So. All right. Darling, why don't you come lay your head right here next to me, and I'll hold you close till I'm free. I know, love your precious soul for eternity. When I think about my life with 1,000 reasons why, I wake up from day to day, so big grin all on my face. Sometimes I make mistakes, sometimes I pride myself. Every day with you is a blessing. Wake up next to you in heaven, and I wanna be with you. Girl, I really wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. Yeah. Darling, why don't you come lay your head right here next to me, and I'll hold you close till I'm free. I know, love your precious soul eternity. 'Cause I love the way you smile, put your hair like down, girl, everything's spinning around, dancing like we got the night away. All I really wanna do is see your face in the morning when I'm around you. See, every time I see my head spinning, and I ain't got no time to waste. So all I really wanna do, all I really wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. Darling, why don't you come lay your head right here next to me? Yeah, I'll hold you close till I'm free. I know of your precious soul eternity. That's it.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, thank you, Tyler, so
I
much for
appreciate
coming
it.
on my show today.
Yeah, absolutely,
That's all we
man.
got time for is music today. I was a little long-winded, so we're a little bit late in the show. So, Tyler Morrison, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a venue owner, you want a class act for a solo show, whatever, Tyler can make it happen. You can tell what kind of voice the man has and how he plays. So, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you being on the show today.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right. Tyler Morrison, ladies and gentlemen. Man, oh man. I got to tell you, we've had some quality entertainment on the show. And it just keeps getting better and better and better. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really do. I did. I enjoyed every note of it. So, we're coming to the end of the show. Man, you know, I didn't have a heck of a lot planned for closing comments. I'm still trying to get over that performance, man. What do you think, Chris?
He always do a good time anytime. He's gonna put his heart into it.
Oh man!
'Cause you can tell he's a real music lover.
And we had a great time at the Eagle Town event, and we're gonna have a great time on July 4th out in the bar. The Ambets post out there is right behind TC's front porch. And it's a big, huge community event. There's going to be tons and tons and tons of people there. And we're going to be there entertaining you and providing the music. So, okay, did you learn anything today? I hope so. If you're in a church band or you're playing spiritual music, Christian music, whatever you want to call it, I hope you're getting gigs and you're getting booked. And you're making your way in the music scene here in Pensacola. So just remember, not everybody's perfect. Everybody's got their own way of feeling about this type of music. I like it. I really do. I enjoy playing some of it when we played out at the event and so forth. But the main thing is you got to play what you love. And if you're getting paid and you don't play what you love, I hope you're getting paid enough. So thanks again to Jack Grimley for providing me some information to talk about today. I appreciate you, Jack. Shout out to Judy Davis out at Perdido Key. You got a heck of a band playing out there tonight. There's no doubt about it. And then now, D-Lady and I, you might just see a live broadcast a little bit later on in the evening while I'm down in Gallery Night Land downtown and stuff. But we're going to head down there and see what's going on and see how it's changed and how they're adapting with the new construction. So, don't forget to keep the beat, ladies and gentlemen. That's what KTB means, and that's what it's all about. Keep it. It comes from here. And remember, the Beat Man loves you. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, last thing. I only need 8 more subscribers to my YouTube channel, and I can go live on YouTube. Please help me out. 8. That's all I need. 1 band. 2 bands. Well, maybe. I guess. Whatever. I appreciate your support. This thing's growing fast. I'm getting tons of comments, and it's all because of you watching what's going on. Don't forget, Bill Thomas Cat. Check his show out. It should be ending in a few minutes. You can go check it out and on Facebook. And then Friday mornings at 9 o'clock, don't miss the Captain on the MCO Morning Show. You want craziness? He's got it in droves. So for now, it's your Beat Man saying good night.